Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we are talking about a couple different watches here. I recently asked you if you'd be interested in seeing this in my EDC update, and I got an overwhelming positive response, and a lot of people said, yeah, show us some watches, Jeff. So here I am, I'm showing you some watches. I'm not going super techie on this. I'm not going to give you all the tech specs and all the features about all these watches. You can find that stuff out on your own. There's plenty of watch-related channels that can do it much better than I can. I'm no watch expert by any means. But I do have an appreciation for watches. Being an EDC guy, a gearhead, watches are part of it. There's so many people in the gear community that love their watches, a lot of watch collectors, you know, a lot of watch enthusiasts. It's an art piece for a lot of people. Sometimes it's a fashion piece. You know, you wear a certain watch that looks nice with your outfit, or some people pair up their watches with other gear. You know, I want this watch with this knife. That's what I'm gonna do today. This watch, this knife, you know. So many guys like that out there. For me, it's function. You know, of course, in late 2017, almost 2018, everyone has cell phones. No one really needs a watch, you know, but I've been told about that with knives too. No one really needs a knife, you know. Well, that's a little more arguable than a watch. But who cares? Who cares if you need it or not? It's a cool piece. It's good for fashion. It's good, you know, people who appreciate precision tools, and that's what it is. A nice high quality watch is a precision tool, and they appreciate that, and they wear it for that very reason. Plus, it's a little easier, you know, just like a quick draw. I can see the time on my watch faster than you can whip out your phone and open your screen and unlock it. You know what I mean? So I can appreciate a watch, and I like it for all three aspects: for function, for fashion, and for convenience. So yeah, let me tell you real quick what each watch is and what they sell for to see if you're interested in it. Because some people, that's all you want to know is that, yeah, it's cool, but can I afford it? No, I can't. Okay, see you later. Move on to the next video. And I understand that fully. So from left to right, let's just go over these real quick. This is a Jord watch, all right? Specifically the Frankie series. Okay, this one is entirely made out of wood. It doesn't look like it because it's black, but this is natural ebony wood. The only thing that's not wood is the clasp, the crown, and the markings on the face, as well as the hands. Okay, but the actual face, the case, the links, everything is wood, ebony wood. This has gold accents, but it's not genuine gold. The movement on here is a Swiss Ronda 763. It's a quartz movement, so it takes a battery. Pretty straightforward wood watch. It's all wood. That's what interests me so much in it. It is extremely, extremely lightweight. I wore this for my Christmas dinner, going out with my family, and I forgot I had it on, seriously, because these other watches are quite hefty in comparison. So absolutely beautiful. This watch sells for about $190. All right, as far as Jord as a company, the cheapest one they do is like $125 for like a maple, you know, wood type watch, which looks like a wood watch. A lot of them look like wood, natural grain and stuff, beautiful. I happen to like the ebony. I think it's cool. It's kind of a little covert. Looking at it, you wouldn't think it's made out of wood. You know what I mean? But some of them clearly look like wood. But they go, you know, upwards of like, I think $495 or $500 for some of their best ones that they make. But very interesting. The next watch here, I got in a trade. This is a Lumtech. It's an M73S. This is limited to 100 pieces. All right. They have a bunch of different versions of this, but this specific version is limited to only 100 pieces, although there's a couple that are still for sale online that I saw. This one sells for $475. This also has a quartz movement, but this one's Japanese instead of Swiss. Specifically, it is a Miyota FS20S movement. This does have a functional chronograph on here. So a feature I don't use myself, but also has a date. But it's a beautiful watch, something a little bit different. Like I said, offered in a trade and jumped on it. The next one also offered in a trade, which I jumped on. This one is a pilot watch by Air Blue. Very specifically, it is the Charlie Chrono version. There's a bunch of different versions of the Air Blue watches. Okay, so a whole bunch of different looks depending on, you know, what you're into. But this also has a functional chronograph and date. Absolutely beautiful watch. This sells for about 300 bucks. All right, just beautiful. Absolutely love this one as well. The movement on that is a Swiss Ronda 3540, I believe. All right, and then the last one here is the Maritech Pilot's watch, which you guys have seen. I wear this all the time. This is my go-to, my EDC watch. Okay, also has a quartz movement. I've had 3 versions of this watch in the past. I started off with the large, got rid of it, missed it, you know, got a replacement, but wanted to do something different, so I got the smaller head. And I just prefer the larger head. It's more masculine having a larger case. I say head, but I mean, you know, watch case for, you know, for a man, especially, you know, a bigger dude. I'm a big dude. I got a big fat arm, big hand. You know, I don't want a teeny little ladies watch. You know, so although the small pilot's watch from Maritac, it wasn't super feminine or anything. I just happen to prefer the larger one. So in going back, ended up with the quartz, which is just easier for maintenance purposes. I cannot more highly recommend this watch. I've had this watch for many months now, so I'm very, very familiar with it. These, not so much. They're still pretty new to me. The newest is the Jord. I've only had that for about a week and a half or 2 weeks or so. The Lumtech I've had for about, I want to say, a little over a month, and maybe close to a month on the Air Blue. So if you have a specific watch in mind that you really want to see a review on from me, maybe in the future, I'd post in the comments if there's enough interest and thumbs up on it. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But like I said, the only one I'm super comfortable is this one. And I just haven't done a review on it yet. But anyway, so those are the watches. Those are their values and, you know, the models and stuff, the quick specs on their movement. Because the watch guys want to know what the movement is. For most people, it's whatever. It's just what's the price and what's it look like, you know. But once you get into some of the tech stuff, tech stack, I don't know what that is. That's some new age stuff. Once you get into the technical specs, just like a knife, you know, some people, they want this knife because it looks cool and it's in their price range. You know, they don't care what steel it has. The movement on a watch is its blade steel. Do you know what I'm saying? It makes or breaks a watch for some watch guys out there. So that's why I mentioned it. For most people, it means nothing. It's whatever. Does it work? Yeah, it works. They all work. So anyway, so you know the story on the Maritac. Let's start with actually the first one I traded for, this Lumtech. So go back about, I don't know, a month and a half or so ago. I was selling some knives or trading, I forget, it was on Instagram. And I had someone who I was familiar with who I traded before, and they offered me this watch as a trade. Now the first thing I thought was, nah, I don't want a watch. You know, I'm trading or selling my knives. I want some more knives so I can do more reviews on knives and stuff like that. But then they kind of sold me. I was talking about it a little bit. I looked it up. I'm like, well, you know, it's a super expensive watch, and it had more value than the knives that he wanted. So it was trading up. You know, I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say it was $50 more than the knives that he wanted, right? So, but the idea behind it is that it'll just get flipped. I'll use it for a while and I'll trade it back for something else, but now it has more value. My entire life in the knife community, let's just say, since I was like 12 years old and on the forums and trading with people with knives, I always try to trade up. What that means is if I have a $50 knife, I'm trying to trade for a $70 knife. If I have a $100 knife, I'm trying to trade for a $150 knife. I've always done that, and it allowed me to obtain way more stuff than I can afford. Do you know what I'm saying? Even now, even today, I trade for everything. Some people think I go out and buy all the stuff I do reviews on. There's no way. I'd have to I'd have to be pulling in a lot of money to be able to do that. I don't. I trade and I barter. Essentially, everything that's on the table here is just borrowing. That's it. Eventually, I might trade it for something else. It's a constant flow. I don't really get to keep much. Let's say keep. You know, it's constantly in and out, in and out. I get to try it, it's gone. I get to try it, it's gone, but something new is there, I get to try. All with only spending shipping money. You know, for example, with these two watches, this is a $475 watch, and this is a $300 watch. Okay, so almost 800 bucks in watch cost me about $25 in shipping to ship my part of the trades. Now, of course, it still cost me $700 plus in knives for the $800 set of watches here. But I got to try something new for physically $20-something in shipping. Does that make sense? So it's all about trading. If you can't afford to just buy stuff well, I mean, of course you could sell it and then use the money to buy whatever you want. The only problem with trading, the only downside, well, I should say there's two downsides to trading. The first downside is consistency, making sure that who you're trading with is going to give you what you think you're going to get. Some people do get ripped off. It is taking a chance. You are literally sending your possessions to strangers, hoping they're going to send you what they said they're going to send you. But there's ways around that. You can, get people to vouch for other people. Of course, once you do some trades with people, you start trusting them and stuff like that. But the other inherent downside to trading is that you don't always get to pick what you want. If you want a specific knife or a specific watch in this case, you have to just get lucky that someone is trading it. Not only trading it, but you have something they want. So for me, as a YouTube reviewer, let's say, it's great because I don't care what I get. If it's something new, that's cool. I'll try it. I'll use it. But for the average person, you're not doing knife reviews and watch reviews. You want something specific in mind, you know? So that's where trading has its downfalls, where some people, you'll buy something and just sell it. The problem with buying something and selling it is most of the time you buy it for one price and you always sell it for less. Very few times you buy something, let's say for $100 and then make money on it. You know what I mean? Whereas with trading, I can trade up. I can trade something for $100 and get something back for $150, and it works out for me. But it also works out for the other person too. You might say, well, why would someone do that? Why would someone give you a $150 knife, you know, for a $100 knife? Well, because they want the $100 knife. They have no interest in the $150 knife anymore, so they don't mind taking that little bit of a loss. It's not really a loss to them in their mind because they're getting something new that they want. So that's how it works for me with trading, and that's how I got both of these watches. So what happened was I got the Lumtech first, and then like not even a week later, I was offered this watch, the Air Blue, and I'm thinking, oh man, like I just got the Lumtech, but now like I'm starting to think about watches because I started wearing this and I'm really appreciating it. I'm like, my watch juices are flowing, let's say. So eventually I gave in. I say gave in, but you know, I did want it. Both parties are always happy when I do trades. I always make sure the other person is extremely happy, just like I am with the trade. And everyone always is, and with both these watches, they're very happy with the knife stuff that they got. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, cool, I'll try another one. And like I said, these watches here, it's just value. That's it. This is $300 sitting here, which eventually will probably get traded for $300 worth of knives. This $475 watch will probably get traded for $475 worth of knives. Or if I sell them, they won't be near what their actual value is. I'll sell them for way cheaper, but I'll use that money for more knives and more gear. It's a constant flow of stuff. That's how it works, right? So the story on the Jord is a little bit different in that I was specifically looking for this watch. These two, they popped up in a trade offer, knew nothing about them. Of course, once I started reading about them, I got interested. And they're turning out to be great, you know, pieces. They're awesome watches, and I'm happy with the trades. But this one I specifically looked for and couldn't find anywhere as far as trading goes, so I ended up getting it from the company. What happened was I first saw it on a YouTube video. I think it was Muscle versus Tuner. He showed the watch, and it was very apparent that the company had sent the watch for him to show on camera, right? So I went to the website to check them out originally. And I thought some of them were really ugly. Some of them were nice, you know, natural wood and stuff, but some of them with like the colored faces and the wood, I just thought they were horrible looking. But that's just personal opinion. I found this one though, the Frankie series, and it was beautiful. I fell in love with it right away. I knew I really wanted one, but I knew it'd be hard to eventually trade for one. I mean, what are the chances someone has that exact watch? Like I said before, with trading, it's very unlikely that someone has the exact watch that I want and I have something they want. So what I ended up doing was contacting the company because I saw it was all over YouTube, and I said, "Look, I can give you feedback on this, but there's no guarantee I'm going to do a video on it or anything like that." So they agreed. They said, "Okay, it's fine." Because if I haven't mentioned this before, if I get something from a company, I never promise them for a video because it complicates things. You know, I tell them I'm a reviewer. I will try your product, and I will give you an email back, a verbal, you know, review, or I'll give a written review on your website or something if you want. But as far as YouTube videos, it's whatever I want to do. It's what I want to do, and it's when I want to do it. So there's no expectations to that company, you know. So they were cool with that. But they did say that they would do a giveaway for you guys, which I thought was really nice. So stay tuned for that. There will be a giveaway for a Jord watch. But yeah, ultimately, I mean, I love it. You know, I'm talking about it now because we're talking about watches. It just happened to, you know, be that timing. But yeah, it's really nice. They ended up sending one for Christina to try out as well, which does look like wood. I'll show that on camera eventually to give you a comparison, because hers is in maple and it clearly looks like wood. You know, a lot of them do. 95% of them look like wood. I liked that it didn't look like wood, you know. The advantage obviously is that it's super lightweight. The disadvantage with this one is that it's not waterproof. You can go out in the rain with this, but if you submerge this, you're screwed. The water's going to get in there. There's not like an airtight seal, especially if the crown is not pushed in all the way. So I mean, it's not the perfect watch. And for $190, I mean, like I said, I don't have a lot of use on it yet, but I'll say that there's a gimmick there for certain. If this wasn't wood, this would not be worth $190 in my opinion, nowhere near it. The wood part of it is the gimmick, you know, but some gimmicks are there, you know, people like them. So anyway, long story short, it's a total gimmick with the wood. The actual movement is a very cheap movement, but it works. I mean, as far as accuracy, it says it's up to 20 seconds slow or fast per month. What that essentially means is that every single month your watch could be 20 seconds off from the actual time. You know, it's not a huge deal or anything, but if I had to give a comparison for all the knife viewers, this is the beautiful looking knife that you really want that's kind of expensive but sports AUS 8. And you're like, what? It's that kind of a deal for watch people anyway. So you're buying it because it's wood. You're not buying it because it's going to hold the perfect time. So anyway, I just want to talk about these watches a little bit and show them to you guys, get your feedback on them. If you happen to own any of these, let me know what you think of yours long term. Like I said, this is the one I know all about. These are still relatively new, so I'm not gonna say much other than my first impressions. First impressions are great on all three of these. I think they're very cool, but not cheap at all. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if you got a new watch recently, you know, let me know down in the comments what it is, what you think of it. So that's it, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.